From Sevier County by way of ESPN Studios, it is College Football Selection Day being broadcast on ESPN and, of course, here on the Simply Reliable Studios. Hello, my internet fans. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you all are watching from today. Today is the big day. Today is the day we find out what 12 teams will try out and be named for the first college football playoff 2024-2025 season. I, of course, am your host, Statboy Mike, formerly of Statboy Sports Bar, which is still on hiatus because life is calling and work is calling. The show is starting. As it plays out live, I will tell you all what is going on. 12 teams. So how does it all work? The 4 teams that did the best in their conference will be given byes into the first round. The remaining teams will play each other in the first round. As I get my closed captioning up so I can also pay attention here. And of course, everybody is not going to be happy at the end of the day. Why? Because some teams will be left out. Last night's games was Oregon versus Penn State. The Oregon Ducks won that game. They finished their season 13-0. So more than likely, unless something horrible happens, they will be the number 1 team. Texas and Georgia played for the SEC championship. Georgia won that game. As we take a look at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that's where the title will take place. As they talked about that. A 13-man committee decides. They base their picks on, obviously, it should be records. We know this. But they have this intricate selection process that just drives people mad. Now, once of course, this tournament bracket is released with a little bit of discussion, we will end the day. ESPN is going to be talking for 4 hours. I don't think I'm going to be going that long. I've got things to do today. So we're just talking about how the committee has a lot to do. Going back to yesterday, Georgia beat Texas for the SEC championship. Oregon defeated Penn State. Penn State did not beat Oregon. So the big upset was SMU and Clemson. And Boise State beat UNLV, and Arizona State beat Iowa State. So all that matters. It should be simple. I cannot stress this enough. It should be simple. The team with the best record gets the number 1 seed. That's the Oregon Ducks. 13-0, guaranteed. No denying that. The next best team is Boise State at 12-1. The analysts are saying that, and there is a story on ESPN that says Georgia jumps to number 2. So here's the first problem. Georgia finished the season 11-2. Boise State finished the season 12-1. Last time I checked, 12 is better than 11. But also, Georgia is the defending champions. They have won 2 years in a row in this national championship scenario. Should they be ranked higher than a team that has more wins? The answer is no. Boise State has 12 wins. Then they bring in something called strength of schedule. Lesser ranked teams or lesser teams that are not ranked but are still in the college football program. That's where the big problem is. There are tons of colleges throughout the country. There are tons of football teams. If you're not a ranked team and you win, it doesn't matter as much. Tell us, Coach Saban. Coach Saban is pretty much saying the same thing I am right now, saying that Alabama should be in. Here's the problem. Alabama has 3 losses against them. Every team that was projected last week and came into the final week of play had 2 wins. Alabama has 3. They are 9-3. One of those was against Tennessee, the Volunteers. Yay. Indeed, Daniel, college football rankings are more difficult than NFL rankings. At least in the NFL, you win your division, you're in. The top 4 in each division go into actually it's the top 4, one from each, because it works out mathematically. There are 32 teams. There are 8 divisions. There are 4 in each division. The winner automatically goes to the playoffs. That's perfect. It works. It's mathematical. The problem is there are anywhere between 9 and 11 conferences in the NCAA. One conference only has 2 teams. So get these teams somewhere in the same conferences. Let me rattle off the conferences here. I'm on the ESPN website here. Let me bring up. There's the American Athletic Conference, which has the Army Black Knights, which are the 24th ranked team. The AP puts out 25 teams, and the Army Black Knights are 11-1. They should be considered, but they're not, because the American Athletic Conference is not a strong enough conference. The Army protects us. The Army is part of the military, and the Army has now proven that they can play football with an overall record of 11-1. Why should they should be in? They can defend our country and play football. The next one, the Atlantic Coast Conference. That features SMU, Clemson, Miami, and Syracuse. 4 teams that are nationally ranked. SMU, of course, upset Clemson last night. SMU has a record of 11-2. There's talk about letting them into the tournament. Where will they end up? We have no idea. Next up, the Big 12. Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, Colorado. Those 4 ranked teams. Arizona State finished 11-2. They are ranked 15th. Arizona has, in a news report from ESPN, Arizona has punched their ticket, so they should be in. The Big Ten Conference, Oregon, Indiana, Penn State, the Ohio State, and the Fighting Illini. 1-9, 3-6, and 21. Again, Oregon, undefeated, they are in. Without a doubt, they're undefeated, 13-0. Without a doubt, they are guaranteed. Indiana should be in. Penn State should be in. The Ohio State should be in as well. So the Big Ten is covered 4 out of the 12 teams. That's a third of the field. Conference USA. Jacksonville, there's not one team in the Conference USA conference they're out. None of them are in. None of them are ranked. The best team was the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. They finished the season 9-4. They're not being looked at, but they are a conference. The independents, there are only 3 teams. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Yukon Huskies, and the Massachusetts Minutemen. They don't follow any conference. But Notre Dame has been talked about the entire season. They finished their season 11-1. They should be in. The Mid-American Conference, no ranked teams. Who did the best? The Ohio Bobcats at 10-3. Miami, Ohio Redhawks, Buffalo Bulls, all these teams, they're not being looked at. All right, we've got Boise State, Arizona State, and Clemson being shown on ESPN as a resume comparison. So we'll see where that goes. The Mountain West Conference, Boise State Broncos, finished the season 12-1. They've been a contender all season. In their conference, they're undefeated. They need so there you go with that. No, I don't want Facebook. The Pac-12 conference only has 2 teams, the Oregon State Beavers and the Washington State Cougars. The Pac-12 is pretty much dead. Sorry, not sorry. There's only 2 teams. They finished 5-7 and 8-4. So there you go with that. And then there's, of course, the big conference, the SEC, the Southeastern Conference. Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Missouri. All those teams are ranked in the top 25. But the big ones, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, they are trying to their case. Texas did the best at 11. Well, Texas is ranked number 1 or listed first on ESPN because they have a 7-1 conference record, but they are tied with the Georgia Bulldogs. Both teams finished 11-2. Then there's the Volunteers at 10-2. Then there's the Crimson Tide and the Gamecocks at 9-3. Alabama, the 4 major teams in my area, I live in Sevier County, Tennessee, the 4 dominant teams are Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and the Ohio State. Even though the Ohio State is a different conference, they still are represented in this part of the country. That's where things get all haywire. Then, of course, you've got the Florida Gators. They're a good team. The Arkansas Razorbacks, they're a good team. Vanderbilt, they're a good team. The Oklahoma Sooners, they're a good team. The Kentucky Wildcats, they're a good team. They didn't play good this year, but they are a significant team. The next conference is the Sun Belt Conference. Marshall Thundering Herd finished their season 10-3. They're not even being considered. That's a bit of a problem. And they have 2 divisions, East and West. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns, they finished 10-3. Why are they not being considered? They have more wins than Alabama. But the problem is they are lesser known teams. They are not the dominance that is Alabama, that is Tennessee, that is all these huge big name schools. And that's all they have. Right. So each week, everybody is not happy because one team, it's like, let's go all the way to the beginning of the season, okay? There are plenty of college football games to be played every Saturday. 25 of those teams are going to win. 25 of those teams are going to be 1-0. The question is, which team do you put up first? So it shouldn't really matter if you're playing a ranked team or not. In the beginning, that should not. It should matter overall, but not first. As many of you know, when I did the rankings for my show, I started with the records. You're going to have teams that are tied. It's a given. What do you do in a game? You try and score points. That is the most basic rule. Score the most points to win the game. So First, you want to win the game. Next, it should go how many points you score. If you are in the other team and scoring a bunch of points, you're that good. The other team is that bad. Keep it simple. You don't have to do points off of a touchdown, points off of a field goal, points off of a safety. Just focus on points. Now, if you're still tied after that, let's say two teams score the same number of points, not necessarily in the same game, though. How many points did the other team score? If the other team didn't put up any points, guess what? You're the number. Your defense is just as good as your offense is. Bottom line. Keep it that way. If the other team did score points, then the team that allowed less points should be ranked higher. Then, if they're still tied after that, you could maybe throw in, was it a home game? Was it a road game? Was it a conference game? Was it a division game? Then go all the way down to the strength of schedule. Then worry about which team, if it was a ranked team or not. Make it like a point system or something. CFP, I hope you're listening on this, because there's going to be teams that will not be happy. One of those teams will be Alabama. Again, the fact of the matter is they lost 3 games. Let me bring up. Let's see who did Alabama lose to. Let's bring that up. Let's scroll down here, and let's look at the SEC. We're doing this live. I know I should be a little bit more. They lost to Vanderbilt, they lost to Tennessee, and they lost to Oklahoma. And the only ranked team was Tennessee. So you can say, yes, they have 3 losses. They only lost once to a ranked team. Okay, if you leave it like that, that's fine. That's an honest statement. Daniel says, college football should be like the NFL with a division like the NFC and AFC, 2 divisions with 4 regions. Why don't they do it? Leaves more questions. Indeed. They should do it. Why they don't do it, we have no idea. All we know is it's a 13-person committee. They sit together and they compare things. The only thing I'm really, really worried about, and this is speculation. I'm not saying that this has happened. It might have happened in the past. I am not saying it happens now. I hope that there is no influence by any coaching staff or executive person on a football team to contact this 13-person committee to say anything that would cause them to put one team over another. That might have happened in the past. It happens in Hollywood all the time, but I do not want to see that happen now. So again, there's just so many different ways to make it work. And, 12, the number 12 is not really a tournament number. It's not even. Well, it is an even number, but you're granting the top 4 teams by your opinion, not by the facts, unless you're Oregon. Let's face it. Again, Oregon is going to be the number 1 team. Hands down. They are undefeated. Why Georgia is the number 2 team in the AP rankings and not in the CFP rankings, I have no idea. You can say that they, you can rank them 2 because they're the defending champions. That would upset the team that is 11-1, which is the Indiana Hoosiers. They are 11-1. They've only lost once. Georgia lost twice. They both have 11 wins. Let's look at who they played. And it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. as ESPN comes back from a break. As they welcome us back. There is the trophy at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. That's where the championship match, the championship football game, will be held. The 5 highest ranked conference champions are automatically put into the tournament. Of those 5, the top 4 get a bye. First round byes. They're explaining the scenarios. The 5th champion then 8 teams play in the first round. Seed 5 through 8 will play on campus. Those winners advance. No reseed until one team is left. Quarterfinals and semifinals will be standard bowl games. On January 20th. All right, this is it. Here it comes. This is live. The number 1 seed, no drama. Oregon Ducks, number 1. Oregon, your number 1 team. They get the bye to the quarterfinals at 13-0. The number 2 seed, the Georgia Bulldogs, at 11-2. There's your number 2 seed right there. Oregon is your number 1. Georgia is number 2. That is confirmed. So the committee has decided the defending champions will get a bye into the second round. Boise State is 12-1. Arizona State is 11-2. Clemson is 10-3. We're having, all right, the graphic is back up. The 3rd ranking, Boise State. At 12-1. Boise State is happy. They are showing them at the watch party in Boise, Idaho. And the final team. Arizona State gets the final bye. Arizona State, they are cheering. So here are your top 4 teams: Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona. Oregon was ranked number 1 in the CFP rankings. Georgia was ranked number 2. Boise State was ranked number 9. Arizona State was ranked number 12. Those are the CFP rankings that come out each week. Yes, it should be a one-year deal. Indeed. Clemson gets the number 12 stop. All right, so Clemson will play the number 5 seeded team, not the number 5 ranked team. $12 versus 5, 9 versus 8, 11 versus 6, and 10 versus 7. Texas. Texas Longhorns will take on Clemson. Texas, a little bit, they're happy. Hook 'em horns. The winner of the Texas Clemson game gets Arizona State. Penn State. Penn State ranked number 6. They will host Here's your updated brackets right now. Penn State ranked 4th in the CFP, but 6th in the tournament. Number 7 is Notre Dame. Notre Dame gets the 7th seed. At 11-1, there is one final home game. Who's it gonna be? Please let it be the Vols. Please let it be the Vols. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's the Ohio State. So, more than likely, then it's going to be Tennessee. That's going to stay the same. Ohio State ranks 6th in the CFP, ranked 8th in. 3 teams are left. As it's probably now going to be official. Let's make it official. It's going to be the Tennessee Volunteers. Yep. Both teams are 10-2. It's going to be a good matchup. And the winner of the Tennessee-Ohio game plays Oregon. Two teams left, the 10 and the 11. Who's it going to be? Will it be the roll of the Crimson Tide? Indiana will play Notre Dame. There is one spot left. Will it go to the Crimson Tide? Clemson will play Texas. Winner plays Arizona State. Tennessee plays Ohio State. Winner plays Oregon. Indiana plays Notre Dame. Winner plays Georgia. Who plays Penn State? It's either Alabama or SMU. Who's it gonna be? It should be SMU. That's my choice because I can't. Well, Clemson has 3 losses, but they had 10 wins. As the anticipation comes up. No, there is no right answer. You're absolutely right. The final team. SMU Mustangs. Alabama is out. Oh, no. Alabama is the first team out. And Miami is the second team out. These are your 12 teams. Unbelievable that the team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, are snuffed out after a 9-3 season. Unbelievable. Wow, wow, wow. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. Trying to see if I can get the... Wow, wow, wow. All right. So at 12:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 8th, your 12 teams: Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State. Those are your top four teams. They advance into the first round. Your remaining teams are Clemson, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU, Penn State, Indiana, and Notre Dame. Let's take a look and see. Let me get the schedule. One of these four matchups will be played on Friday, December 20th. The remaining three will be played on December 21st. And then the quarterfinal matchups will take place on New Year's Eve. The remaining three will be on New Year's Day. The semis, one semi will be played on January 9th. The other semi will be on January 10th. And then the championship matchup will be on January 20th. Whew. Unbelievable. Unbelievable indeed. All righty. I'm going to take a quick break, do some quick analysis, and hopefully we'll have a couple guests come in if they are available. And if not, I'll wrap things up because I do have to go back to work. On this new watch along trailer, the newest of we did have the events yesterday. They are still in the trailer, so enjoy.
And now for a taste of things to come.
All the wrestling, all the wrestling, all the wrestling, all the wrestling. And that ticker's been going the whole time. Oops, my bad. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All righty. So let me take a quick look at social media. Now that the field has been set, Uber Eats called me. I don't have a phone number from Uber Eats. I guess they did. Oh well, I'll take a look at that later. Oh. Oh, well, I definitely have to look up that. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look that up in just a second. All righty. Let's take a quick look at social media. Sports. College football playoff trending worldwide. Adam Scheffler of ESPN has already put the bracket up. College football is set. Alabama will miss the college football playoff. Boise State. All righty. About the college football playoff, Alabama didn't get in. Thank you. Wow. Notre Dame is the biggest imposter of the college football playoff if Army is left out. Notre Dame only had one ranked win against Army. Army just won its conference championship. Everybody is entitled to their opinions. All righty. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much going to be it for me. It was a quick show. I would have liked to be on a little bit more, but unfortunately, life is calling, and I need to answer it because apparently somebody left something in my car that I need to possibly return. So that does have my attention. So again, just to confirm, the Oregon Ducks, the Georgia Bulldogs, the Boise State. I don't even know what Boise State's team is. Shame on me. The Boise State Broncos and the Arizona State Sun Devils are your top four teams. They get the bye. Clemson and Texas will play each other. Tennessee and Ohio State will play each other. SMU and Penn State will play each other. And Indiana and Notre Dame will play each other. And of course, the remaining bowl games those games have been announced or are still being announced. Of course, the bowl games are a lot of are sponsored a lot. You can find all those on ESPN. The next time you will absolutely see doing a watch along, I for certain will be the national championship on January 20th. I wouldn't mind calling the Tennessee Volunteer game. It's a possibility, but it has not been confirmed. Don't know yet. Whatever. We will see. Of course, you can find all the wrestling in the trailer you saw on the Simply Reliable Studios. We have plenty of things coming up. But for now, because I have a pressing matter that I need to take care of, thank you everybody for watching. Good luck to all 12 teams. Congratulations on getting in. And my personal message, if your team did not get in, please do not do anything stupid. Don't go out and destroy anything. You're allowed to be angry, but please don't get in trouble doing it. It's not worth it. Hopefully, by next year, this format will be changed a little bit better to where more teams get involved. Thank you, everybody, again. Have a great Sunday. Week 14 of the NFL season starts in about 15 minutes. 3 teams have locked in their playoff spots, being the Buffalo Bills, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs, and the Lions. You can follow me on Twitter at LBStatKid1977. Use the hashtag StatBoyApproved. You can also follow me on Instagram with the IG handle StatBoy13. Have a good rest of the day. Have fun. Be safe. I love you all. And I end this always by saying, StatBoy out. Have a good day, everybody.